Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Matthew Bivens, and I am excited that you're here with me today, hanging out on the Having It All podcast. This is the space for us, this collective space for us to have conversations about having it all. Because I believe with every fiber of my being that me, you, and everyone on this planet Earth can have it all. Absolutely 100%. And it's all about your perspective. It's all about how you view it. That's why here on this show, we define the all as an abundant, loving life. And that's what we're here playing for. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am just really excited to be behind the mic right now. I think it's been one of those days that I was itching to get here. I was itching to talk to you. And today's conversation is really cool because it's about excuses that keep you from abundance. And I want you to, when I say the word abundance, I don't want you to just think it's money, right? Because abundance just means a plethora. It means a lot, right? It means so much of something. And that can be money, that can be love, that can be laughter, it can be friendship, it can be creativity, it can be so many different things. And so in today's conversation, I'm going to give you a number of excuses that you might be making that are keeping you from getting into alignment with that abundance and really experiencing that abundance. So definitely want to tune into that. And let's kick things off a little bit with some magic. Magic. That is when we influence ourselves, others, and life in an empowering way. And the reason why I talk about magic every show is because it's one of the byproducts of having it all. It's what happens when you view life through the lens of abundance and love. You end up experiencing many more magical moments. Moments when you're like, wow, that is so cool that happened. Man, I'm powerful. Or wow, look how that person influenced themselves. Wow, I'm inspired. That's what magic is, and those are the feelings that magic evokes within us. So I'm going to share a couple pieces of magic from my life recently, and then when I'm done, I want you to just pause the episode and reflect on at least one piece of magic from your life so that you can really connect with that energy and connect with that power because you are a powerful being. All right, so my magic was from this past weekend. We had Sarah's mom in town. She drove up from Florida, and my mom came in on one of the days as well, and it was really magical. I just got a chance to sit back and watch the two moms hang out. And for me, that was incredibly magical because I know that there are a lot of people out there who either don't have that opportunity, maybe one of the parents is no longer with us, and they don't have that opportunity to see that type of thing, or perhaps there's some strained relationships. And because of where the relationship currently is, that type of hangout is not really going to happen. And so I am just so grateful for the relationship that I have with both of my in-laws, Sarah's mother and Sarah's father. And I'm grateful for the relationship that Sarah has with my parents so that we can create this experience where my mom and Sarah's mom are hanging out, talking, laughing, sharing stories. And it is so magical to me. It really is. And it's something that I'm thankful for because, again, I know that that's not the case for so many people. And, you know, it's just interesting, this whole thing about relationships. That's been a theme that I've seen pop up in the past week or so with me, is just relationship dynamics and how they are different, how they change and how they can evolve and or not. You know, sometimes relationship dynamics just get stuck and people get stuck. And so my first piece of magic is about the meeting of the moms and the hangout that we had over dinner. It was beautiful. It was magical. My second piece of magic was recording an episode recently with Sarah for our other podcast called Doing It at Home. And on that show, we do interviews with moms and dads and partners and birth world experts and all that great stuff. And we do that every week. But we used to do more solo episodes, just Sarah and I going back and forth on a topic. And we hadn't done that in many months. And we did one yesterday. And it was so awesome to just get behind the mic with Sarah and for her and I to just talk, right? To just riff on a subject. I really love our communication. I love our banter. I love the way that we play off one another. I love our connection, and it really shows up on the podcast. And overall, I just love that woman. She is so dope. And it's so magical that I get a chance to create with her. And so yesterday was just extra magical because we actually sat down, cranked out an episode, and you all should check it out. It's about traveling with a toddler. So we gave conventional and unconventional tips for traveling with a toddler. So any parents out there, if you're doing any sort of travel, you might want to tune in. That's over at Doing It at Home podcast on all the different podcast players and all that great stuff. So that's my magic for today. And now I recommend you literally pause the episode, whether you're in the car or you're at, working out or at the grocery store, doing whatever. Just pause and reflect on one piece of magic from your life in the past couple of days. When have you inspired self, others, in life in an empowering way? Go ahead and hit pause right now. And then we're going to move over to listener love because I got so much love to pour on you. I have an abundance of love. I'm going to pour that all over you all. And so today's listener love goes out to Kristen on Instagram. Kristen, I appreciate you so much for tuning in, for reaching out, for taking a moment to connect with me on Instagram. I love it. And what's cool is that Kristen, sounds like you're in the Atlanta area and are interested in the community that I talk so much about on this show. And so I'm going to share this with you, Kristen, and anybody else who is either in the Atlanta area or is going to be at some point in the future. I would love to connect with you, and I would love for you to come and connect with my community because I have this really dope community here in Atlanta called the Your Day Balance Game community. And it's just this group of folks who are all about their own abundant, loving lives. That's what they're about. And it's a community about health, fitness, love, and balance. And it's so unique. It's so powerful. And it's here in Atlanta. And it's open to anybody. Anybody can come through and can come to the playground. That's the gym space. That's where I do my play camps. That's where some of the other events take place at the playground. So check it out. Kristen, come check it out. Anybody else who's going to be in Atlanta, I've already connected with a number of you who are here in Atlanta or who have stopped by, and that's been incredibly magical. So if you want more information, you can go to Facebook and just type in Your Day Balance Game. Your Day is YOURDAY, one word, Your Day Balance Game, and you'll see the Facebook page pop up. So Kristen, that's for you. Look forward to potentially connecting with you later, and anybody else who is in the Atlanta area, come connect. It'll be awesome, awesome time. All right. Who's ready to talk about abundance? Who's ready to talk about excuses that are keeping you from abundance? Because you know what? Every single one of us makes excuses or has made excuses at one point in their lives. We know what that is like. And while in the moment, an excuse might feel good. All right, it might feel good to make an excuse and get out of some sort of commitment. There is a part of you that knows that you just counted yourself out, that you just shortchanged yourself, that you just went against something that you stand for. And that's why excuses don't ultimately benefit us. And excuses, what they end up being, excuses are how we talk ourselves out of our dreams. Yeah, it's how you talk yourself out of having it all, out of having abundance, out of experiencing the love that you want. And the more that you use excuses, the more that you recite them, what ends up happening is you end up living a life of mediocrity. That's what excuses lead you to. And again, we've all made excuses. We all have made them. We all know the feeling of making the excuse, and we know what it's like to give in to that fear and to not really live into our potential. Because that's what happens when we make excuses. So what I want to do in the next several minutes of this conversation is I'm going to talk about why you want to stop making excuses in the first place. Maybe you're just used to it. Maybe it's just something that you've known your whole life and you don't really want to stop. I'm going to talk a little bit about why it might be in your benefit to stop or reduce all the excuses that you're making. And then I'm going to give you some things to chew on about excuses in general. And then I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different excuses that are keeping you from abundance. I'm going to share the excuse, and I'm going to help you to end the excuse. And that's how we're going to end this episode today. It's going to be a really, really awesome one. So I know that there's going to be several of these excuses that you're going to relate to. Maybe you've used them recently. Maybe you've been using them your whole life. And today's the day where that ends, everybody. Today is the day where that ends. All right. So here's why you want to stop making excuses. First of all, excuses prevent you from reaching your full potential. They do. Because when you're making excuses, you're giving in to some sort of fear. You aren't pushing through some sort of boundary. You aren't expanding your comfort zone. And if you're staying comfortable, you aren't living into your full potential. Because your full potential requires you to be bold and courageous and step forward even in the face of fear. Excuses keep you from doing that. They also hold you back from getting further in your life. Yeah, they hold you back from getting further in your career. Excuses hold you back from creating the relationship that you really want. Right? If you're out there being like, I really want this partner, I really want this wife, this husband, this boyfriend, this girlfriend, whatever, and you're making excuses, it's just keeping you from having that relationship. Excuses hold you back from experiencing the health that you want, making excuses about not exercising, about not eating foods that raise your vibration as opposed to lowering it. All that's doing is keeping you from experiencing what you say you want. Excuses tend to lead to regrets. They do. If you haven't listened to my episode called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, I recommend you go do it. It's from December of 2018, and it's all about the regrets that people have, some common regrets people have when they're on their deathbed. And one of those regrets is not living a life that's true to yourself. When you're making excuses and you're giving in to your fear, you aren't living a life that's true to you. You aren't really going for it. You aren't living into your full potential. So, making excuses, it leads to those regrets. Making excuses also has you settling for less. You'll settle for the job. You'll settle for the partner. You'll settle for the life that you really don't want, that really isn't healthy for you, that doesn't push you to being a better person, that doesn't push you into being more powerful, more compassionate, more loving, more abundant. You'll just settle. You'll be in that comfort zone. Excuses also keep you from growing. Yeah. Because they keep you away from challenges. And challenges, that friction, that little bit of grit in there, that's how you grow. But when you're making excuses, you avoid those challenges. You avoid things that are scary. You avoid things that make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel a little bit anxious. And the excuses pop up. Boom, boom, boom. Well, I can't because of this. I can't because of that. It just keeps you back. They're like shackles on your ankles. One of the, this is a tangent, but last time I was on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, I remember that scene where the guys are in the jail cell, and there's like a gift shop at the end of it, and they have these fake shackles that you can buy. It's like you clamp it around your ankle, and it's got this chain and this big heavy ball at the end. That's like what excuses are. Every time you throw on an excuse, it's like putting on that shackle with that heavy ball, and now you got to drag that through your life. They just keep you back. That's what excuses do. Lastly, excuses are passed down from you down to your kids. They are passed across to your spouse. They are passed on to anybody who's close to you, who's watching you. The folks who are watching how you show up in the face of life circumstances. As you're making excuses, you're just giving them permission to do the exact same thing. So if you need a why, a big why, as to why you want to stop making excuses and start, being more courageous and more powerful, just think about the people around you who are watching, who you are giving permission to make those excuses. Parents, yeah, that's a big one. You may not want to be motivated to stop making excuses for yourself, but you might be motivated to stop doing it because your kids are going to start doing it too. So think about that. Here's something for you to chew on. You can have your excuses, or you can have your abundant, loving life. You pick. You get to pick one. You get to pick one. Excuses or your dream life. Excuses or having it all. Whatever it is, pick. Again, whether you want an abundance of money, of friendships, intimacy, love, happiness, all of that. If you're making these excuses, then you're literally stopping abundance in its tracks. The reason is because the excuses, they're thoughts. They're thoughts, right? And your thoughts are connected to your beliefs, and your thoughts inspire your actions, and those become habits, and that becomes your character, and that sets your destiny. And so those thoughts end up being in opposition to the abundance that you say you want. For example, if you keep saying to yourself, there's not enough, then what's going to happen? You're going to see through your eyes, through your lens, through your perspective, you're going to see that there's not enough. There's never enough time in the day. Well, guess what? You're always going to feel frantic and hurried. That's just how it happens. And listen, this isn't like law of attraction stuff. This isn't woo-woo stuff. And again, I don't want you to be turned off by the word abundance. This is just simply how things work. And it's observable. You can see this happen in your own life. I know that you know of somebody who always feels like there's not enough. Always feel like there's not enough time, there's not enough money, whatever it is. And that's just how they go through life. That's their lens. I was just on a vacation. And I know that you've probably been on a vacation somewhere amazing. And you've had this experience where maybe you're with a group of people. And one person in the group is having an amazing time. And the other person in the group is having a terrible time. Same location, same vacation, different experiences. It's all about perspective. It's all about your thoughts. It's all about the things you keep on telling yourself. Let's get into the actual excuses now. Excuse number one is, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. You have probably said this. I know that I have said that, where you feel frustrated because you don't have enough money to buy the thing or do the thing or pay off the thing or experience the thing. And it might be a cycle. I don't have enough money at the beginning of the month. I get a little bit towards the middle, and then I'm at the end of the month, I don't have enough money again. And it just repeats. And you probably have, if that's an excuse you make, you've probably been making that excuse most of your life. Yeah, most of your life. But guess what? A lack of money has never stopped somebody who is truly, truly committed to what they wanted. I'll say it again. A lack of money has never stopped somebody who is truly committed to what they wanted. Resourcefulness is much more valuable than resources. Yeah. So here's how you end the excuse of I don't have enough money. Start seeing abundance flowing in your life in other ways than money. Recognize and acknowledge when you get a discount that you weren't expecting. That's abundance. That's money flowing your way. Or recognize and acknowledge when someone gives you a ride and saves you some money that you would have spent on Uber. That's abundance flowing your way. Or when a neighbor comes over and donates some toys to your kid. That's abundance flowing your way. That's how you end the excuse. You also end the excuse by seeing that when you want to say, I don't have enough money, that's just a speed bump. There's ways around that. That's when you can become resourceful, as opposed to saying, well, I don't have the resources. The second excuse that's keeping you from abundance is saying that I don't have enough time. I have felt that one as well, as I know you have. Being a parent, being an entrepreneur, leading different groups, being a spouse, being a brother and a son, all these different roles that I play, and I know you've got even more than that. And so, yeah, you always say, I don't have enough time. There's not enough time to do this or that. Guess what, though? You make time for the things that are priority to you. Yes, you do. The things that are really important, they end up getting done. This is the case whether you are somebody who works for a living, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, whether you're an executive, whether you take care of your home, whatever it is, whether you're a student, the things that are important to you, your priorities, you end up making time for. So here's how you end the excuse of I don't have enough time. You understand that the things that are most important to you, they get done. Therefore, a more mature response when you feel like you don't have enough time, a more mature thing to say is, you know what, I'm choosing something different. It's the idea, and you've probably heard this idea of saying yes to those things that you want, yes to those things that are important to you, and then being able to say no to everything else and being peaceful with that. But you lose your power when you make the excuse of, I don't have enough time. You just give your power away. That's a very much of a victim mentality. I'm a victim to whatever it is. All the stuff that I've got going on in my life that I have no control over. And it ends up being a cop-out. So instead, just be cool with what you're choosing to spend your time on. And own it. Own that some things aren't going to get addressed. Be okay with that. And if you're choosing things to spend your time and you're still feeling like you don't have enough time and the things that are most important to you aren't getting done, well, then look at what you're investing your time into. Maybe you're not investing your time into the most important things, or the things that aren't lighting you up, the things that aren't really special to you. All right, excuse number 3. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough education. I never went to college. My parents didn't pay for it. I'm just not smart enough. I'm not qualified enough. I don't have the certifications enough to go for X, Y, and Z, to do X, Y, and Z. Guess what? You literally have the greatest educational tool the world has ever seen, an almost infinite amount of information at your fingertips. It's your smartphone. It's what you're probably listening to this podcast on right now. Your smartphone gives you access to the internet, which has everything on it that you're telling yourself you don't know. You don't have enough education. You didn't learn about blank. Go online. Go online. This one is all about just being lazy and stopping being lazy and starting to be proactive. So here's how you end the excuse of I don't have enough education. You determine what it is that you want or you need to learn. And you do one of two things. You either go and find the place where you can learn it yourself. It might be online. It might be at some local class, some local meetup. It might be at a college nearby you. Maybe it's being an apprentice. You do that, or you talk to somebody who can point you in the right direction. Maybe you want to learn how to restore classic cars. That's what you want to do now as a profession. But you don't know where to go online, but you have an uncle who kind of digs those cars as well. Well, go talk to them, and maybe they can point you in the right direction. Point is, you got everything that you need, either at your fingertips or within your network. So use those resources. That's how you get over that excuse. Excuse number 4 is a big one. I didn't receive enough love. I didn't receive enough love as a kid. That's why I am the way that I am now. I was never taught how to love. That's why I can't love others. The love that you received throughout your life when you were young, when you were growing up, that love does not limit the amount of love that you're able to give or receive today. Be loving to yourself and to those around you, and watch as that love comes back to you. So here's how you stop the excuse of I didn't receive enough love. First of all, you've got to stop blaming other people for your current life circumstance. I know it's hard to hear, but where you are today in your relationship and all of that, it's not a result of how somebody else jacked you up, right? You can make that excuse when you're young, when you're single digits, right? But as you get older, as you become an adult, as you become self-aware, and you have the ability to be proactive, and you can seek out growth and healing, and you can really work on changing your thoughts and shifting how you view the world, you can't make that excuse anymore. So the way that you end it is you really recognize that seeking love externally is always going to be a risk. It's always going to be a risk because those people that you're looking for to get your love from, or those things that you're looking to get your love from, they can always remove that love. And then you're going to be left feeling empty and longing. And you're going to be left feeling very attached to that person or to that thing. The more powerful move is to learn how to cultivate self-love, love from within, learning how to light your own fire and fan that flame for your life and really feed it and watch as the love that you have for yourself burns so hot that it really doesn't matter if somebody is going to add to it or take away because your love is burning. But that can be a learning process. It could take time, you know? It might be a thing that you just don't know how to do, and that's okay. It starts with keeping agreements you make with yourself, keeping your word to yourself, speaking kindly to yourself, taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It starts with really just learning how to fill up your own love tank. And then from there, once you start learning how to fill your own love tank up and you can walk around with your tank filled up because you've been making deposits, it's going to be really fascinating for you to just like see how you feel about yourself and about other people. That's how you end the excuse if I didn't receive love. Excuse number 5, this is the final one. I'm not creative enough. I just don't have those great ideas that other people have. I'm just not creative. I've never been creative. I wasn't gifted with creativity. Guess what? Creativity is not something that you are born with and others are not. It's not like this limited run commodity out there that some people got and then it's just no more for you. Creativity is a muscle. It's a muscle. So the way you end the excuse of I'm not creative enough is by working your creative muscle. No matter what you do, no matter what field you're in, no matter whether you're a stay-at-home parent or a student or a CEO or whatever, there are ways for you to be creative. And there are ways for you to grow and strengthen that creative muscle. So, for example, writing down thoughts in a journal, that can be creative. Getting out and exploring the town that you live in, that can be creative. Singing in the shower in only the way that you can do it, hitting the harmonies that only you can hit, that can be creative. Painting and making visual art, that can be creative. Parenting your kids can be creative. Yeah, only you can parent your kids the way you can. Get creative with it. Taking care of your house, taking care of your home, taking care of where you live, that can be creative. How you set your space, that can be creative. Managing your team, managing your people, running your business, that can be creative. So stop thinking that creativity is just about art or just about music or just about, stuff like that. Cut that out. Stop thinking that creativity is a trait that some people have and you don't. It's given to some people and not to others. Remember, it's a muscle. And just like some people have bigger biceps than others, some folks have been working their creativity muscle more regularly than others. So if you feel like you aren't creative, you just don't have that, then start repping that creativity muscle. Find a couple of ways, small ways, for you to practice creativity. I'll tell you a real quick story. In college, prior to college, I never really considered myself an artist, like a visual artist. I wasn't into drawing or painting or collage or anything like that. But in college, I just found myself doodling a lot in class, and at the library. I guess I should have been studying or whatever, but I just found myself doodling a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'm not that terrible at this. And I kind of enjoy it. And so I just kept practicing. I would print out pictures from the library. I went to the University of Florida, so I'd go in the library, I'd log in, print out a picture. I like to draw pictures of people. So I get a picture of like Ray Charles or Michael Jackson or something. And I would just sit there and for hours I would just practice drawing. And I got pretty darn good. I got pretty good at sketching people. And that led into painting. And that led into me taking my creativity and putting it on sneakers. And I made a little business around that. It was something that was a basically non-existent muscle that I worked on. So again, if you keep telling yourself that I'm not creative enough, recognize that it's just an atrophied muscle that you can build. So those are the 5 excuses that are keeping you from abundance. And guess what? Ending these excuses, it takes courage. It absolutely takes courage. And that is the key ingredient to living your abundant, loving life. You have to be courageous. You've got to be bold and go for it. You've got to take a leap of faith. You've got to take the next step in the face of fear. When fear hits you, you move forward anyway. You've got to hear those excuses come up and then not listen to them. You've got to commit to your dreams, even when they are wild, even when some people are telling you they're crazy, even when it doesn't even make practical sense to you. You've got to be committed to them. That's how you stop these excuses. And ending these excuses is all about being proactive. You got to go. You got to take action. And you really have to take responsibility that, you know what, if you want to experience abundance in your life, it's up to you. It's not a sit back and wish for it and wait for it to come. It's not a I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes a day and do nothing else. It's not a I'm just going to, write my mantras down and not do anything else. Those are places to start because they do get your thoughts moving in a new, more powerful direction. But then at some point, you got to go for it. Got to be proactive. You got to take action in order to create the life that you want to live and the life that you want to experience. So the space that I'm holding for you at the end of this episode is that you stop listening to your excuses and that you begin to boldly take control of your life. So to wrap this episode up, I want you to make a commitment right now to yourself that you will stop making one excuse that you know you make regularly. So think about that right now. What excuse are you willing to let go of? When you let go of that excuse, what will happen in your life? I'm going to be posting on Instagram. Actually, right now, as you listen to this, there's going to be an Instagram post that goes along with this episode. So I want you to go there and share the excuse that you want to let go of. Go onto my Instagram, Matthew_Bivens, look for the post about excuses, and just drop a comment. This is the excuse that I'm willing to let go of. And I'll hold a space for you. I'll be there to hold you accountable to it. Because you know what? Those shackles that are around your ankles, those excuses, they're just holding you back from experiencing the life that you really want to experience. From having that abundant, loving life that you say that you're playing for. And I know it's possible for every single one. Everybody can have it all. Everybody can have the abundance that they truly want. There's no limit to it. But you got to be willing to go for it. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what happens in your life as you drop the excuse and you just go for it and you live boldly and beautifully with love and abundance. It just gets me so fired up. That's it for today. I really appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with me here on this podcast. This is beautiful. You're beautiful. My name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.